is Jaqueline Enriquez. I am a proud mother of 3, a youthful grandmother of 10, and now a great grandnana. I'm honored to be here today to represent Beloved Grandfamilies. This is a ministry that's born from both heartache and hope. So I often imagine my retirement to be my golden years, traveling abroad, cruise ships, watching those ocean sunsets, day spas, and dancing the night away. But then one phone call changed everything. Child Protective Services informed me that my 2-month-old grandson was in intensive care, and his 2-year-old brother had been taken from the only home he had ever known and placed into foster care. I had to make an immediate decision: keep my plans or bring my babies home. I had no diapers, bottles, formulas, car seats to transfer them home, and when I got home, no cribs for them to sleep in. But I didn't hesitate. I chose them. They needed a grandmother's love rather than strangers. Later, I discovered that I'm not alone. There are over 3.5 million grandparents in the United States today responsible for raising their grandchildren, and over 35,000 alone in Colorado. When grandparents are going through something this difficult, they're often at a breaking point, unaware of the few resources available and afraid of the unknown, like who do you call? Will they help? Will they take the child from the home? So I became that 1-800 grandma, the voice on the other end that says, you're not alone. God sees you. We will walk with you. Beloved Grandfamilies is a faith-based nonprofit we're dedicated to healing hearts, strengthening families, and navigating the legal, financial, and emotional challenges with dignity and compassion. We've become a lifeline in so many unique ways. Let me tell you about Ella. At 75, she lost her granddaughter to fentanyl. Grieving and left financially strained, she stood in the family courts pleading for the custody of her great-grandchild. She should have been resting, but instead, she was fighting a broken system. Through a bridge of care, support, and guidance, she was able to adopt Penelope. And today, she's walking that same legal maze for others. Serena was living in a hotel room with her 11-month-old grandson without even a refrigerator for his milk due to her daughter's incarceration. Through advocacy and partnerships, we were able to provide her with permanent housing, daycare, and employment. Veronica lost her job due to the high cost of daycare. This is a crisis for many kinship caregivers today. But today, she is going through the CrossPurpose program as a CNA with flexible hours and building stability for her new families. We are now helping grandparents write and publish their own stories. They're transforming their pain into testimony and preserving a legacy of God's faithfulness for many generations to come. So I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and I really believe that this is my calling. We have served over approximately 50 families a year, but there's 100 more waiting. So through the Beloved Grand Fund, we've been able to provide monthly support groups, provide computers for the families in need, emergency funding, and holiday help. So today I'm just asking you to pray about becoming a monthly donor. We desperately need legal professionals, advocates, board members, housing investors, and Christmas sponsors. So if this stirs your heart in any way, please scan the QR code. I'll get you the QR code. And come visit me or just grab a brochure so you can share the awareness. We cannot let these beloved grandfamilies walk this journey alone. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, and thank you for taking your time to hear us speak today. I want to start off with a young lady. She's 15 years old. She's 15 years old. She's smart, creative, protective of her younger siblings, the type of girl that talked about more than she realized. One day, while conducting a classroom search, she informed her security guard that due to being sexually assaulted by her neighbor, she had a small pocket knife in her book bag. Little did she know her honesty would lead to such a pivotal moment in her life. She had the knife not out of harm, but fear. They later told her she was being handcuffed for her honesty. She was incarcerated for 3 days. 3 days she sat in this cold room, terrified. 3 days for a moment that could have been redirection. 3 days for a moment where someone labeled her instead of guiding her. When she gained home, she wasn't angry. She was quiet, ashamed, withdrawn. This young lady didn't need punishment. She needed tools. She needed guidance. She needed a space to grow through her mistakes instead of being defined by them. And truth is, she's not alone. My name is Tahani McMillan. I'm a wife, mother of 2, and social entrepreneur with a deep love for her community. Sorry, guys. With a deep love for her community. I started Brotherhood Haven because I saw something in my community that just didn't sit right with me. Our minority youth are one decision away from being labeled instead of led. They aren't lacking intelligence, they aren't lacking potential, they're lacking consistent support systems that get to them before escalation starts. Brotherhood Haven is that intervention. We provide structured mentorships. We offer etiquette classes 5 times a year that help them with confident speaking and self-respect in the room. We offer agrotherapy. We offer agrotherapy groups where they learn about patience, grounding, and emotional regulation. Brotherhood Haven was founded in 2018 but didn't receive substantial funding until 2022. Since then, we've helped 20 families, mentored 12 boys, and employed 10 people with various jobs serving community. This is bigger than us. This work is personal to me because as a mother, I know that every child deserves room to be themselves instead of identified by one problem. As a community advocate, I understand that prevention is more powerful than punishment. And as a social entrepreneur, I understand that structure and funding is important as well. So today, I am boldly asking you to partner with us. If 50 people in this room committed to $1,000 today, we could fully fund multiple mentorship cohorts. If 100 of you gave 200, we could sponsor 100 young people in life skills programming. And if 200 to 300 in monthly donations is all you can give, that helps fund every outing for our young boys that build relationships before a crisis happens. And if your hearts are just in it to give, to keep this vision alive, I'm asking for volunteers and sponsors. This isn't about charity, it's about trajectory. Somewhere in this city is a young girl, smart, capable, emotional, but still human. Let's have one decision away from being labeled instead of guided. Let's be the reason her story doesn't start with handcuffs, but with opportunity. And I know that these services are needed because that girl that I spoke of was once me. So before you leave this room today, I want you to remember this, if nothing else. Handcuffs should never be louder than hope. Mistakes should never be bigger than a child's potential, and prevention will always cost less than regret. So choose to fund hope, choose to interrupt the pipeline, and choose to build futures. Thank you.
Last year, my heart almost fell out of my body. So I did a push up to actually just stall time. Do you want a joke or a push up? Help me out. A push-up? Okay, let's do it. All right, thanks, guys. It's almost falling out again. I want to tell you guys what makes me wake up every morning. When I was 8 years old, my big brother Maxwell would chase after me every evening in Ghana. He would yell and smile on top of his voice. Food is ready, go home and eat. Food is ready, go home and eat. Maxwell would chase after me because if he does not, I will play all day and forget myself. I will not go home and I will not eat. He was my best friend. One night, when Maxwell was at a boarding school far away from home, my parents received a call that said that Maxwell was vomiting blood. They took him to the hospital, but the hospital refused to treat him because he didn't have no money to pay. My dad had a car at home, but he couldn't afford repairs, and there were no available auto parts to fix the car. After 3 hours, he borrowed a car and drove long hours to the school. When he got to the school, Maxwell had died. That night, we lost a brother, a son, and my best friend. That pain became my motivation and my purpose as to why I do what I do. Hello, my name is Patmos Debrah. I am the founder of LD AutoParts. LD AutoParts is a proven automotive business that starts in the US and scales into Africa to help reduce poverty by solving critical transportation problems. We take waste in one market and turn it into mobility, jobs, and opportunity in another. This is how. Across the US, millions of vehicles are written off due to accidents, failed inspections, or repaired costs owners simply can't afford. Nearly 70% of these car owners are forced to accept $150 to $250 from salvage yards. Regardless of their vehicle's true value, they will strip the car, crash it, and discard of the car, destroying thousands of dollars of usable components. This creates massive inefficiency and wasted value in the US auto market. LD Auto Parts acquires these vehicles and makes them available for those who need them. This operation runs on a 2 to 4 weeks turnover cycle, generating fast, consistent cash flow. I have personally executed this model thousands of times, validating demand, pricing, and execution. It doesn't just end there. LD Auto Parts extends its proven US model into Africa by parting out vehicles and exporting the high demanded auto parts. We load these auto parts into containers and export them through a dedicated supply chain. This export model generates up to 100% profit margin and directly keeps vehicles safely on the road, reduces accidents caused by bad or poor repairs, and creates jobs for mechanics, vendors, and logistics workers. At LD Auto Parts, we believe profit and purpose must grow together. I am not just making money. I am trying to change lives. I am trying to save lives. While we build a strong business, we are equally committed to helping the poor and the needy by creating a vocational training center all across the country that teaches free hands-on training courses in automotive repairs, construction, electrical works, fashion or seamstress, and other skilled trades, along with mentorship and free access to tools. Currently, we have sponsored 120 kids in Ghana who are orphans. So every car fixed means a family can travel safely. And any person trained means a future is transformed. This is how we create a long-lasting change. Let's teach them how to fish and not just feed them. Right behind me, there are two QR codes. The one on the left will take you to our GoFundMe page. And the one on the right connects directly to my email if you would like to speak with me personally. Every contribution, no matter the size, helps change the destiny of a child and can truly save lives. This mission is deeply personal to me, and I hope that somewhere above, my brother Maxwell is watching and proud of the work that we are doing to make sure no family has to go through what ours did. Together, we are not just funding a mission or a program. We are building futures. This is the AutoParts. Thank you.
Seven years. For 7 years, I was homeless on the streets of Denver, addicted to meth and alcohol. I had abandoned my family and my friends. I was lost, and I was alone. In those darkest moments of my life, I was consumed by one thought. What have I done? So much shame, so much regret, wanting desperately to get it all back, but knowing I was hopeless. It was killing me on the inside, and I just couldn't see a way out. Hi, my name is Darin Valdez. I'm the executive director and founder of Colorado Artists in Recovery. And I'm proud to say I just celebrated 12 years of continuous sobriety. Thank you. You see, I was blessed. Through a series of what I can only define as miracles, I was able to find treatment. And with the love and support of my family, and later with my dear friends, Jason, Ron, and all the angels at CrossPurpose, I got sober, I got off the streets, and I started to rebuild my life. But here's the thing about addiction. You can, with the right help, remove the substances, but the shame stays. The worry stays. And that voice that tells you you're just going to screw this up again, that stays. That noise, that constant negative noise, is relentless. And it just pulls you back into the very thing you're trying to escape from. And that's why 85% of people in recovery relapse within the first year. And why those first 90 days are when they're the most vulnerable. In my own recovery, about a couple years into my recovery, that noise almost became too much. I came home after a really, really hard day, and I went down to my room, and I knelt at my bedside in tears, and I offered up a desperate prayer. God, I don't think I could do this anymore. Please help me. And then the most amazing thing happened that I still find hard to explain. I started to hear violins. The next morning I awoke, and on my Pandora station, at the coffee shop, at the grocery store, everywhere I went, I was hearing violins. And just places I'd never noticed them before. So I went to my local recovery group, and I told my guys, I'm going crazy. I'm hearing violins everywhere. And they just started laughing. But a woman approached me after the meeting, and she says, Darin, you know, I teach violin. Would you like to learn? And that voice of fear came in. I can't afford a violin. I can't afford lessons, and I think I'm too old to learn something new. And she just smiled, and she said, that's not what I asked. Would you like to learn? And so it began. She gave me her mom's violin, and started teaching me simple songs. And I would go to the park and I would practice. And the violin just became a very important part of my recovery. And this is what I discovered, that when I'm playing music, that fear, that worry, that shame, it just melts away. The noise gets quiet long enough so I can just breathe. Long enough to remember who I am beneath my pain. And in that moment, I catch just a glimpse of who God sees in me. And that's why CARE exists. To give others in recovery that same sense of freedom, we offer a variety of creative recovery workshops and sober events for people in recovery, where art and music become a bridge to healing and connection, where they get to be seen and celebrated as their true selves, to cut through that noise beyond their pain when it matters most. And I'm proud to say last year, 98% of our participants in our 6-week creative recovery workshops were able to maintain their sobriety throughout the full 45 days of each workshop. And all reported feeling more hopeful and supported on their recovery journeys, which is a really important stat. Since CARE was founded in 2020, we've been able to serve over 16,000 people. I think my goal was 3,000, and we served over 16,000 people. It's getting hard. And over 7,500 of those have come in the last year alone. So funding is going to be incredibly helpful. I think we're on the next one. I apologize. This is my most nervous part. I think the hardest part about running a recovery program in a nonprofit when you're someone that's coming out of homelessness. I mean, 12 years ago, I was digging out of dumpsters for pizza, right? Is asking people for help. I think that's been the biggest struggle. So today I'd like to invite you to support our mission by becoming a part of our growing community of donors. This code links directly to our donation page. A $100 donation enables one individual to participate in our 6-week workshops. A $1,500 donation provides this experience for an entire 15-person 6-week cohort. Of course, a donation of any amount is deeply appreciated. And if you're interested in making a deeper, lasting impact, please scan the code to connect with me. I'd love to tell you about our annual corporate sponsorship program. For the entire year, you can align your business with a really, really beautiful mission. And there's lots of art and color to it, so it looks good on your website. I'm also seeking champions. Jason's been incredible. Ron has been incredible, helping me connect to new funding partners, right? Not just sending me, here's a grant application, but I'd love to introduce you to someone I really believe would help you fund your mission. That was a lot longer than I wrote. Finally, when I think back on those moments, those cold, lonely nights, with that question repeating in my mind, what have I done? Well, I'm proud to say CARE is helping me create a very new answer to that question. I get to help those in darkness find light. Thank you for your time.